What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Traptrix deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this one for you guys because this deck is an extremely powerful deck that can easily control the board with all of your awesome trap hole cards. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Marmelio. Marmelio is one of the best normal summons in the entire deck, with the ability that this card is unaffected by the effect of whole normal trap cards, which all of your main deck Traptrix monsters actually share that common effect. But when this card is normal summon, you can actually add a whole normal trap card from your deck to your hand. And if this card is special summon, you can target a spell or trap your opponent controls and destroy it, which is an awesome ability to be able to use. But when you normal summon this card out to your side of the field, it's great to be able to grab your copy of Holatea so you can go full combo. We then play 3 copies of Mantis. Mantis is great as a 3-of in the build as well, because when this card is normal summon, you can actually add a Traptrix monster from your deck to your hand, which is an awesome ability to instantly grab the exact card that you need. Also, this card is a great ability that, quick effect, you can actually target a set spell or trap that you control, return that target back to the hand, then set a spell or trap card from your hand, which is an awesome ability to help you basically bounce one of your cards that your opponent's targeting to protect it from being destroyed. We then play 3 copies of Pudica. Pudica is really good as a 3-of in the build, and an awesome card to be able to normal summon, because when this card is normal summon, you actually get to add a copy of Traptrix Garden from your deck to your hand. And if this card is special summon, you can actually target a special summon monster your opponent controls and banish it. Also, during the next standby phase, your opponent can special summon one of their banished monsters, which is a great effect to help you spot remove monsters off the field. We then play 2 copies of Dionia. This card is great as a 2-of in the build, and an awesome card to be able to summon out, because when this card is normal summon, you can target a Traptrix monster in your graveyard and special summon that target in defense position. But when this card is special summon, you can actually target a whole normal trap card in your graveyard and set that target, but banish it during the end phase of your next turn if it's still set on the field. We then play 2 copies of Arachnacampa. Arachnacampa is really good as a 2-of in the build because this card is basically a free extender in the build. And during the main phase, if you control a Traptrix monster, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the X deck for the rest of the turn except insect or plant monsters, which is totally fine in this build. We then play a single copy of Vesiculo. Vesiculo is really good as a 1-of extender in the build as well. This card has an awesome ability that you can only use the following effect of this card once per turn and only once that turn, but it lets you send a set trap card you control to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand, which is an awesome ability to instantly bring this card out to your side of the field. We then play 3 copies of Parallel XZ. Parallel XZ is awesome as a 3-of in the build because our main monster in the X deck is Traptrix Sarah, which is a link 1. So we can normal summon out any of our Traptrix monsters to our side of the field, link them away for a copy of Sarah, and then special summon Parallel XZ from our hand to our side of the field, and then special summon an additional Parallel XZ from our deck to our side of the field. Both of them become level 4, and both of them become 1,000 attack and defense points, making it super easy to make a rank 4 play in this build. We then played 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is definitely a 3-of build to basically just stop your opponent from touching the deck. We then played 2 copies of Nibiru. Nibiru is really good in this build just to help you break your opponent's board. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're just going to be playing a few, starting off with Pot of Prosperity. Pot of Prosperity is great in this build, as our X deck is very toolbox and we play a lot of 2-ofs in the X deck, so you can easily banish the cards that you need to help you dig into the deck. We then play a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is awesome as a 1-of in the build to basically just stop your opponent's hand traps where you're going in for all of your plays. We then a single copy of Traptrix Garden. Traptrix Garden is awesome as a one-of in the build because this card is to be able to, during your main phase, you can normal summon a Traptrix monster in addition to your normal summon or set. And the first time each insect or plant monster you control would be destroyed by battle, each turn it is not destroyed, and you can banish a monster that you control to special summon a Traptrix monster from your hand to your graveyard, which is a great effect to be able to use. But this card's additional normal summon is key in this deck, which is why if you see Pudica in your opening hand, you want to normal summon that card first to your side of the field, so you can search this card from your deck to your hand, and then activate it so that you can basically go full combo. So, that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start with a single copy of Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare. This card is awesome as a one-of in the build and such a powerful trap hole card, with the ability when a monster your opponent controls that was special summoned this turn activates its effect, negate that effect, and if you do, destroy that card. With my single copy of Terrifying Trap Hole Nightmare. This card is awesome as a one-of in the build and such a powerful card in the deck that if your opponent has special summoned a monster this turn, you can target one monster that your opponent controls with 2,000 or more attack and destroy it. Then, if you have a whole normal trap card in your graveyard, you can actually banish a monster from your opponent's graveyard, which is an awesome ability to be able to use. We then play a single copy of Floodgate Trap Hole. Floodgate Trap Hole is great to help you flip your opponent's monsters face down and keep them face down. We then play a single copy of Grave Trap Hole. Grave Trap Hole is awesome in the deck, and I actually consider playing 2 copies of this card, but it's really good in the deck. That when your opponent activates a monster effect in their hand or graveyard, or when your opponent banish monster effect is activated, you can negate the effect, and if you do, inflict 2,000 points of damage to your opponent, which is actually broken, which is why I considered actually playing an additional copy of this card in the build, because it's one of the most powerful cards in the deck. We then play 3 copies of Traptrix Holitea. Holitea is great in the deck and such a powerful card because this card can actually summon itself as a trap monster with the ability to activate this card the turn it was set by discarding a normal trap card to special summon this card in defense position as a normal monster. It is a plant, earth, level 4, 400 attack, 2400 defense points, and this card is not treated as a trap card when it's summoned out. And also banish this card from your graveyard to target a Traptrix monster in the graveyard and special summon it. And you only use 1 effect on this card per turn and only 1 stat turn. But this card is awesome to help you get an additional level 4 out on your side of the field so you can go in for your plays. We then play 3 copies of Dominus Purge. Dominus Purge is great in this deck. He's a 3-of and a really cool card because this card is basically Ash Blossom 2.0 in the build. But if you activate this card from your hand as a hand trap, it locks you out of using Dark, Water, and Fire monsters effects for the rest of the duel, which is not that big of a deal in this deck as we're usually just using Earth. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is great as a 3-of build to basically just stop your opponent's monster effects and lock down entire columns of spells and traps. We then play 3 copies of Evenly Matched. Evenly Matched is great as a 3-of build just to help you break your opponent's board, and it's an awesome 3-of in the build, especially if you have to go second and you need a board breaker. This card in Nibiru handles it. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with Traptrix Sarah. Traptrix Sarah is one of our main monsters in the deck that we usually want to end on in this build. This card has some awesome effects, so it's just a Link 1 monster, and this Link Summon card is unaffected by trap effects. And you can only use each of the following effects this card once per turn, and not during the damage step. That if a normal trap card is activated, you can actually special summon a Traptrix monster from the deck with a different name than the cards that you control, which is a great ability to be able to use. And also, if your other Traptrix monster effect is activated, you can actually set a whole normal trap card directly from your deck, helping you set up your board. This card is so important for the build, and a card you usually want to end on. With my single copy of SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight is great as a 1-of the build to basically just use this card to interrupt your opponent. You can even use this card as a double interruption, which is awesome. With my single copy of Kirlia. This card is really good as a one-of in the build and just a really interesting card to be able to play. After Abyss Dweller got banned, I did trade Abyss Dweller out for this card, but this card is really interesting as this card's Link Summon, or this Link Summon card is unaffected by trap effects, and also after you activate a whole normal trap card, you can set it instead of sending it to the graveyard, which is a really cool ability so you can use your trap holes over and over again. And during your end phase, you can actually target a Traptrix monster in the graveyard and special summon a defense position, which is a pretty interesting effect. We might see a copy of Adipus. Adipus is great to help you OTK your opponent, and just a really cool card overall in the build. We then played 2 copies of Pangicula. Pangicula is awesome in this deck because this card is basically the searcher for the build. Now while this card has a material, it is unaffected by trap effects and the activated effects of other monsters with the same type as this card's materials, and you can also detach a material from this card, add a Traptrix monster from your deck to your hand. And if a monster owned by your opponent is sent to the graveyard or banished by a card effect, except during the damage step, you can attach one of those monsters' cards as a material, which is a pretty broken ability. We then might see a copy of Rafflesia. Rafflesia is really good because you can actually use your trap holes directly from your deck if you meet the conditions for them, which is really cool for this card to be able to do, just to be able to use any of your trap holes when you need them. We then might see a copy of Alamirez. Alamirez is great as a one-of in the build, and just a really cool combo piece in the deck. And then I see a copy of Redoer. Redoer is great in this build because you can easily use your copy of Holatea to be able to get this card a trap card as a material so you can use its broken ability to place one face-up card your opponent controls on top of the deck. We then play a single copy of Bagooska. Bagooska is great in this build just to basically slow down the game, just in case you need to. We play a single copy of Cowboy for game. Cowboy is really good as a one in the build, just to help you go in for game if you're going into time. We play a single copy of Zeus. Zeus is great to board wipe the field, just in case you need to, and it's an awesome card in this build. We play a single copy of Typhon. Typhon belongs in just about every single deck, and it's an awesome going second card in this build to be able to use as a skill drain for 3,000 or higher attack point monsters and a bounce. So, that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played a Traptrix deck before, you should definitely give this deck a try. It's an extremely powerful deck, and it's just so fun to be able to just control the board with all of your awesome trap hole cards. So, that's going to be this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can come part of our notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.